Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is a Tuesday, and interestingly enough, we had a breakout with Draftkings. I did buy a position for the small portfolio of Draftkings. Large cap seems to be rallying. So who knows? It's a crazy market because we are still in an uptrend under pressure. Some of the indexes have been kind of taking it a little bit hard, so we just kind of don't know kind of what the direction is yet. But right now, right now some of the big caps are up, so can be a good thing. Just want to take a look at the market direction. The market trend is still under pressure, so kind of be careful with new positions. Yesterday I was saying, go to 50% cash. I think you could probably back off on that a little bit. I definitely have, but we'll see. Be careful with your stops and make sure that they're in. The S&P is up today, which is nice. We're not the S&P is definitely up 1.272%. The Dow Jones is up, and that's quite good, almost 2%. Nasdaq is up, so it's looking fairly good. We seem to have sort of recovered a little bit from it. I just wanted to kind of take a look, see at some of the indexes. And that's really the main thing. Here's the Nasdaq Composite. As you can see, we did pull down a little bit, but we've been moving up. We moved up yesterday, the day before, but Friday we had that big movement down. Fair amount of volume, so definitely it's moving to the upside. So that's a good thing. It's well above 1350, so 13,624. It's up strongly today, almost 2%. So that's very good. And of course, the Nasdaq Composite, this is the entire thing. This is not the QQQ, which is only the Nasdaq 100, the 100 biggest, but this is the whole thing. So it seems to be, at least in the growth stock area, seems to be pretty good. So that's a definite plus. I want to look at the Dow Jones, and that's been kind of the one that I was a little bit worried about when it pulled. When it pulled down here well below, let's put that pointer, there we go. Great. See how that pulled down below, and that we thought that might have signal reversal, but the relative strength line seems to be moving up, and we have pulled above the very, very key 50-day moving average line, and that's this red line here. So that seems to be, we seem to be cautious, but we seem to be making some good progress as well. So who knows what's going to happen there. But it looks pretty good in terms of that. Just wanted to show you Draftkings, and by the way, IBD has us on the leaderboard, so it's kind of a good stock. I did go into one full position when it pulled up today. It's currently trading right around 60. Right here, but as you can see, there was a key level that it moved through, and it moved through a Buypoint. So that is that's kind of a good thing. Just going to give you an idea, rundown of sort of my current holdings. I did add some things here, and I did take away some things. But one of the things that I'm a little bit I bought an IPO this morning. Don't normally do that. Unfortunately, I couldn't set a stop loss because it's very volatile, but I just kind of want to show you some of the things that are currently in my portfolio. Anyways, of course, we all know Blink charging, and that's been up, so that's nice. I've sold a 51 call on that one, so I may get called out of that. Who knows? Again, I sold out all my Tesla at 840. It dropped below 820. I bought it all back. And now I will probably double my position if Tesla moves above this 885. Now, currently, it's at 877. So I definitely made some nice change there. Amazon's up again. Again, I have a bull put spread on that, and so that's looking pretty good as well. That's going to be expiring in a few days. Palantir's down, though. It's at 31, and hopefully I can hang on to that because I do think that that's going to go higher. But I did buy higher than that, and I'm down a little bit. So, there you go. Virgin Galactic is coming into earnings in about 23 days. I'm going to be holding this into earnings. I do have 2 full positions in my small portfolio there. Microsoft is up. Microsoft is one of the big caps that really benefited It's at 240. It's a kind of a slow mover these days, but I have one full position in the small portfolio. I didn't. Again, as I said, I bought DraftKings. It's up almost 10% today. Also, kind of a safety move. I bought Palo Alto Networks, kind of an expensive stock. It's up $23.56 currently, and this is the one that I did purchase for my small portfolio. I may regret this, but this is a interesting solar power company that does a lot of the solar power distribution and electronics, and I do think that's a big area. Shoal Technology, and it IPO'd at 25. It's currently at 35, down a little bit, but that one might be of interest as well to everybody out there. So kind of get an idea on that as well. So let's, without further ado, let's get into some of the questions that everybody has. Here we go. All right. So I'm gonna go to the YouTube first. And by the way, if you're looking at me on TikTok, I am simulcasting this on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So the first question is from Dinesh. Thanks so much, Dinesh. Hi, Jim. Hold or sell Snap through earnings. Positive earnings are expected to. Okay, here's the thing on Dinesh. Let's look at Snap. Snap is a great company, especially because they have, they definitely are a great company. But here's the thing: I would be cautious about holding it through earnings. I really would. Let's take a look at the chart. I think we might be better off. Yeah. Okay. So, and we've got earnings. Okay. Good. Let me just see if I can zoom in on this chart a little bit. Oh goodness, did I not get? Yeah, I didn't. Where is the? All right. So let's zoom in a little bit on that chart. Yeah, there we go. 250. So hopefully this will work for us. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. So taking a look at I think we're on the daily. Let's start with the weekly chart here for Snap, and see if we can find anything that is of interest. So let's kind of pull that up here and look. Okay, we'll see. We're headed nicely up that the 40-day line. So let me show that to you here, Dinesh. We're moving nicely up that 40-day line. We've got a relative strength of 94. Everything's looking good. Obviously, earnings in 2 days. We've pulled up. Here's my take on this. It looks like there's a consolidation here, right here. Kind of a mini consolidation here to in about this range. My thought on this is that obviously it may move out of the way. I would probably sell this prior to earnings. I probably would, but let's just take a look at a few things. Let's look at the checklist first. It's an excellent checklist. Look at that. It's 8 out of 9, so that's looking very good. Let's look at the fund ownership. 44% funds, very good on that. Yeah, I mean, this what's not to like here. I'm trying to find increasing fund ownership, and we've got the Fidelity Contra Fund in there, so that's going to be pretty good. I don't think we're going to get necessarily a huge. Well, you never know. You never know on these things. It's so difficult to tell. I want to kind of look at the monthly chart to kind of get an idea of the history of Snapchat. So kind of get the 20,000 foot view. All right, it's just moved. It moved nicely above that buy point. So it just. What would I do here? You know what? It looks very strong. You know what? I disagree. I think. Okay, here's what I think you should do, Dinesh, on this one. This is what I would do, anyways. I think I would sell half of my holdings before the earnings. I think this really could go either way. It very well likely may go higher. But I would sell half of I would hold through with half, and I would sell half. And the reason is because if it moves up, then you want to buy back the half that you sold. But if it goes down, you protect yourself a little bit on the downside. So it's looking pretty strong, in general with that. So that's what I would do. It's kind of a weenie answer here. Sell half and hold half through. So that's what I would do. Hey, Kathy Woods, RG got into, yeah, I think so. As I said, I bought today as well. I hope I won't live to regret that. I hope I won't really live to regret that. But let's look at the, let's look at the DraftKings chart, DKNG, and it did come through kind of a key level. Let's see if I can, yeah, DKNG, and let's see if I can. I'm still learning how to properly. Oh, there we go. No, it's a little bit too much. Okay, so about 175. We can see that on there. Okay, so let's go back to the weekly chart, and that will show, probably tell the tale here. There we go. All right, so here is the chart for DraftKings, and let's see if we can kind of get it to a good spot here. Basically, it came off this cup with handle, with handle, and it moved right past this pivot right here. Just want to kind of show you that. Yep, there we go. The cup with handle pivot was basically at 53.72. It moved higher than that, and that's sort of when I bought it. It's at 59. It has a relative strength of 93, so that's still looking good. Unfortunately, it is out of the buy zone right now, and that is very unfortunate. Let's see if we can go back to the daily chart to get an idea on that. Unfortunately, it's pulled past the. I think it's pulled above the. I think it's pulled above the buy zone. Yeah, it certainly has. The top of the buy zone is. Yeah, it just is pulled just top of the buy zone. Here's the thing. It looks as you could buy it at this level. I wouldn't recommend it because basically 55.98 is the buy point, and of course, as we know, 5% above that is the buy zone. Now, I did buy it in the buy zone. I'm a little bit more conservative here. I did buy it in the buy zone. It looks as if it may close in on this high that it made back here before of 64.19. You could buy it at this level, but you have to be careful because we're now a little extended above the buy point. The proper buy point in this is 55.98, but I still think it's buyable. I really do. I really do still think it's buyable. It's got a pretty excellent checklist, 77%, and the funds are moving into it. The Fidelity Contra Fund is in it. So we had a large jump in the number. We had 100 of funds come into it this last quarter. So I'm pretty confident. I think it's done its consolidation, and hopefully now that it's pulled above the buy point, I think it might be, it might be, it might be good to be. You're in at 48. If you're in at 48, you're doing pretty good. Yeah, I think you're going to do very well at 48. That's about the 21-day exponential. So yeah, I think you want to hold on this one, Dinesh. I think wow, 600,000 shares. Wish I could do that. Wish I could do that. I think they're going to do great. I only have 41 shares in the small portfolio, but I may be looking to increase that in some of my other portfolios. So I am kind of high on DraftKings, at least for right now. So that's sort of how I'm looking at it. So let's take a look at some of the people that have been waiting over here on TikTok, and thanks so much. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I'm new here. Okay, well, welcome. I'm up 39% on Tilray. Look at you go. Wow, that's tremendous. Let me just see. There's an interesting way to play the marijuana stocks. It's a little bit easier than picking the winners, and that is a fund called MJ, and it's I just kind of want to take a look at it and see how it's doing. Yeah, it's moved up. I think if you're interested in playing that marijuana space, it looks as if we have moved into a key level for the ETF MJ, and so that's something that you might want to consider to play this. It seems as if it's moving very nicely now. But this is the cannabis. It's called MJ. That's the name of it. And just kind of an interesting. It's an interesting ETF because it basically covers the it basically covers the entire industry, and it's a little bit easier than, you know, I mean, if you're up on, you know, if you're up that much on one, like Tilray, that's fantastic. But this one takes more of a basket approach. An interesting thing here is that you can see we just had a spike in buying. So I am kind of, you know, it looks as if this one may be worth being in again. This is ticker symbol MJ. It is an ETF of all of the marijuana stocks. It's at 80 currently on the relative strength, so that's my minimum. It's got a 66 checklist, which is my minimum, and you know, because this is an ETF, you don't have a lot of funds in it, because that would, you know, funds typically will buy the individual stocks. But MJ might be a way to go. That might be a good good bet if you're looking to get exposure to the cannabis industry. It seems to be doing well, so you know, that might be an alternative there. Might be an alternative there. All right, so let's look at. All right, let's look at AMC. That's pretty interesting. I haven't talked about AMC. Okay, yeah, we had a blow off top. This is a classic short squeeze, by the way, everybody. And you know what happened, of course, is that here's how it works. Basically, for the short squeeze, you have people that borrow shares. Those are typically hedge funds, and then they sell those shares, and then hopefully they're going to buy them back at a later date at a lower price. But here's the thing: when they do that, it requires margin. So if the stock continues to go up, the margin requirements tend to go up as well. And typically, they can't hold on anything more than 50% of margin. So they have to have a fair amount of cash in the accounts if they're shorting. What's happened here, of course, is that people are refusing to sell. And that is a classic strong hands, weak hands situation. What pushes stocks up is not necessarily news or demand. That can be part of it, but what pushes it up is strong hands, people refusing to sell, so that the buyers have to push up the price. And that's exactly kind of what happened with the GameStop. Is a lot of people out there just refusing to sell their shares, and it pushed the price up. So now here's the thing you got to be careful about, and this is a little bit controversial, but I'm gonna put it out there anyways. Hopefully I don't get banned for this. Robinhood, the app, part of the reason they have no commissions is because what they do is they take that information, everybody on Robinhood, and what they're buying. And for instance, they knew that they were buying GameStop, they knew that they were buying these other things, and then they transmit this to the hedge funds, and the hedge funds many times take a position counter to the people on Robinhood, and this is essentially what's going on with Robinhood. They're not stealing from the rich to give to the poor. They're stealing from the rich to give to the rich sometimes. So you got to be a little bit careful. It's a good app, but be forewarned that that's what they're doing, and that's why the commissions are zero on Robinhood. Now, I got through with my little rant. Now, what's going to happen with AMC? Well, you know, when AMC does come back, you know, I don't know. These are very, very hard to play, but right now we have a huge relative strength of 98. Now, of course, my normal criteria just goes out the window. It's only a 44%. Normally, I would not buy that, but we do have 202 funds that are actually in it. So that is very interesting to me. What would I do here? Gosh, I just don't know. I just don't know. But it looks as if you could stay above the 21-day line, that's probably where you want to be. Currently, that is right about 630. So we're right above that. So if we could get some support here, if this thing moves above the 10-day line here, that's where I think you possibly could make a stand if you're interested in being in it. And that is right at about 775. So we're right at that level right now. So if it starts moving higher towards $10, you possibly could buy this, but be very careful if you're not in it already. Now, if you're in it, congratulations. take your stop losses and move them up. So move them up right as they're going up. Eventually, it's going to pull back and sell you out, but you'll make some good profit there. So it's very interesting. Would I buy AMC at this point? Probably not. Probably not. I probably wouldn't be at it because I just didn't get it in at the right time. If I was in it at lower than 5, maybe I might consider it because can make a considerable amount of money on this. But unfortunately, I don't think I wouldn't. If I was coming into it new, I probably wouldn't initiate a new position right now in AMC. But I really appreciate the question very, very much. Okay, let's go to another favorite. Well, first, before we get there, let me turn that off. There we go. But first, before we get there, let's go to. I want to show you Tesla because this is sort of the bellwether for the way all of the EV stocks are trading. Now, you would think they would trade in sympathy, but I don't seem to be, and I don't know why that is, but it just seems to be the way. So I'm going to kind of zoom in on this a little bit. As everybody knows, I am a Tesla bull. It's done very well for me. It was the #1 stock last year in the entire market, believe it or not. So that's done well. Now, will it continue on to this year? Probably a little bit. I mean, Tesla pulled above this key level here, which of course is this 10-day line here. So that's very key. I bought it off the reversal. I sold it as it started to move down, and then I rebought it right here as it bounced off of this. After it bounced off of the 21-day line. This is the 21-day line. This is that green line here. What's happened is it pulled back, it bounced, and then it's moved up. Now, it probably will see some resistance right about here at about 885. Now, if it pulls above 885, I'm going to double my position. Excuse me. Excuse me. Gosh. I'm going to double my position in Tesla. So this is Tesla. I think it's still looking pretty good. It's got a strong checklist, 8 out of 9. And believe it or not, and I know this is hard to believe, I do think that we may be in a situation very shortly where we have a high tight flag on Tesla. And if that happens, this is going to go above $1,000. So that might be something that, I haven't put it in the smaller portfolio yet, but I'm likely probably to put, 2 shares in the small portfolio. It's a very small amount. But I do think that we are setting up for a potential, if it pulls past this 885 level right here, I do think it's going to go very much higher, but it's sort of in a consolidation range right now. So that might be an opportunity for people to get in on some even more stuff there. All right, so let's look at Apple, because we looked at Tesla. So let's look at Apple. And, Apple also, I think, is moving nicely today. So let me see if I can get a nice chart on that. Yeah, we did pull back on Apple. We're 134.90 area right now. We've pulled down below that key level. That's that key cup without handle, 137.98 buy point. So is it buyable at this level? You know what? I do think that it's getting ready. But it's still, here's the thing. I just wouldn't buy it unless it went above this level right here. Oops. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. So we can see that a little bit better. I would not buy it until it is above 137.98. So I'm going to put out there for everybody on just put it out here. The buy point, the buy point for Apple is equal to 137.98. Right. So that's the buy point for Apple. Let's see if I can get that up there. Yeah. All right. So, well, that's pretty crazy. Let's see if I can clean that up a little bit. I'm having to look around something, so it's not the best. There we go. And this is the buy point. Wait for Apple. So let me put that out there. Yeah. So the buy point for Apple is 137.98. That's right here where that line is. That's where this line is. It's pulled below that, right now. It's currently, trading a little bit below that. It's, it's tried to push above this line several times. So here's what I would say with this. I would consider buying Apple only if it's above about 130, 139, because it just seems to be having trouble with this pushing past that pivot. But I do think it's getting ready. But it's right now. Right now the thing with the thing with Apple is, I think right now it's a watch list. Unfortunately, it's a right now Apple is a watch list, and not and not a buy. So, but I do think if it moves past that buy point, convincingly, and that buy point is 137.98. If it moves past that, then I think that you possibly could buy it, but it has to move past that buy point with significantly higher volume. So right now, I'm afraid with Apple, it's a watch list. But if you're in it, just stay in it, because it's setting up nicely, and I think it will run. But right now, unfortunately, it is just not the right time to buy it. It's just, you've got to wait until it gets a little stronger, and then I think. Then I think you can do it. Let's look at BB. We're getting a lot of questions on TikTok for BB, so thank you for that. I'm trying. Let's analyze BB here. And by the way, if you're looking on TikTok, I'm broadcasting simulcasting on YouTube at youtube.com/DellStrandingFloor. So let's look at it. We have this is incredible. I'm going to show you the weekly chart first for BB. So let's take a look at that quickly. There we go. All right, so let me just pull it back a little bit in terms of the zooming, so everybody can see that. So let me just kind of pull it back. There we go. All right, so here's what happened with it. We had this blow off top. This is a classic climax top. Okay, this is a classic climax top. This is from a short squeeze. This is exactly what they're talking about in the short squeeze. And what happened, of course, with BlackBerry is that people refused to sell. A lot of people refused to sell, and the shorts had to cover their short positions. So what happened? Well, it pushed up. Well, it did seem the break point was right here at about 14, and then it's headed down. Currently, it's 11.55. Now, I do think we could see it move all the way down to the buy point on this. There is a buy point on it, and it is right at about 6. Okay, so right at about 6. So if I was in this thing right now, I would be setting my stop loss up. Each time I'll be setting it up, and then as it pulls back, I'm going to be sold out. So eventually, I'm going to capture this profit in here. Now, if I was coming into this issue right now, I would wait. I would wait until at least it was down here to 6, and then it reversed. So here's what you want to do. You never want to buy it. You never want to buy a falling knife as it's pulling back. You always want to buy it as it bounces. So this is what they call a dead cat bounce. If it pulls back and then it bounces, and it probably will bounce right about here on this consolidation stage 1 at 584, that's probably where it's going to bounce. If it bounces there, then as it's moving higher, you can buy it. You always want to do something as it is moving higher, and you don't want to buy it as it's pulling back. So there is a buy point for BB, which is of course BlackBerry, and that is at $5, and see if we can get it right exactly here. $5.84. All right, so $5.84 is the buy point. Now, so right now, oops, that's the wrong one. I don't want to show you that one. I want to show you this one. Oops, that's the wrong one too. All right, so did I give you? No. Let's see if I. All right. All right. So I want to give the buy point for BB is $5, and I believe $5.84. So hopefully, yeah, there we go. So the buy point for BB is basically down here, right at this level, right at this level here. Okay, this is the buy point for BB. All right, there we go. That's the buy point. That's the buy point for BB. So it's got to pull back a long way to get down to here, down to this 584, and then it needs to either bounce off of that, and if it bounces off of that, then we will have what they call a dead cat bounce. So I wouldn't, if I were looking to go into BB right now, I would wait. You want to wait on this one. You want to wait on this because it's what they call extended. So right now, let this thing pull back, let this thing settle. I don't think this is the end of it for BlackBerry, not by the long shot, but you want to let it pull back. It's going to pull back probably down to about 584, and then I do believe at 584 we may see it bounce higher. So that's kind of my look on BB. If you're in BB right now and you got in, below 1155, push your stop losses up, and then as it pulls back, it'll enable you to gain some of that profit. Don't enter it right now. Don't enter BB right now because it is pulling back, and you don't want to buy something as it's pulling back. So that's my humble opinion of BB. I think you can definitely probably make some money there. All right, so let's take the next question. Thank you for Tradesman and Trading. Let's look at Joe and Fubo. Let's look at Joe first. JOE, and this is a St. Joseph company. Very interesting. Many years ago, back when the dinosaurs were ruling the earth, and I was a kid. There was, everybody's heard of Walt Disney, right? Well, when he initially wanted to found Walt Disney World, he went to the owners of the St. Joseph Company, and they are the largest private landholders, and they mainly own timberland in the state of Florida. So they went to them, and the president of the company left, had him wait all day to see him. Very end of the day, Walt Disney went into his office, and the guy he didn't even talk to the guy. And then later on, he remarked, "Oh, I don't deal with carnival people." Can you imagine that, saying that about Walt Disney? But anyways, that was one of the biggest mistakes in corporate history ever, because it could have been, if Walt Disney had been able to buy that property in Northwest Florida, kind of in the Apalachicola area, where St. Joe owns a lot of property, Disney World might not have been in Orlando. It might have been closer to Tallahassee. Who knows? But anyways, very interesting story. Here's the thing about St. Joe's company. It's a good company. It's got a very strong rating. And here's the thing I really like about St. Joe's company. Most real estate plays right now I don't like, but St. Joe's is different. Why? Because they are the single largest private landholder in the state of Florida, next to the Mormon Church. Believe it or not, the Mormon Church is a very big landholder in Florida too. You wouldn't know that, but they are. So they're very well positioned for this mass migration that's going on to Florida, and especially most of their property isn't in South Florida, isn't even in Central Florida. It's in in northwestern Florida, around Apalachicola, Panama City, those places. So very interesting company, and you can see very nice increases in revenue. It's 99% owned by funds, and it has very good cash flow. So I just think that this is an interesting story, and it's got 100% checklist. I think this is a winner. And now the question is, where would you buy this thing? And thank you very much for bringing this up. Very unusual that anybody would know about Joe, because it's an unusual property. I mean, unusual stock. I do like it very much. Very, very few individual stockholders own it. Mostly funds own this. So let me kind of zoom in on the daily chart here a little bit to see kind of where we could buy this thing. So let's take a look. Here is the higher high that it made. Here's the higher high that it made at 49.98. Okay, very interesting there, and it looks like it's just pushed past it. So here's what I would do with this one. This could be a very interesting opportunity for a buy, and I do think this is really worthwhile buying. Now here's how I would buy this. I would buy this with what they call a buy stop limit order. And so what I would do on this one, to buy this one, is that I would look to see, let's see if I can get one here. All right. Is this the okay? Let's see. Okay. Let's see if I can. So I would set a buy, stop, limit order for Joe at, see if I can give you an exact number, at 49.98 plus 10 cents, or $50.08. So let's put that up there just so we can see it. Yeah. So here's what I would do to buy this one. I do think that this is right now, we're right below that. We're at 49.40. This would be a very good buy because you see it's coming out of this consolidation here. We have a very strong relative strength, and we've got very nice volume on this. So everything is kind of lining up. We want to buy it as it moves above this level here, above 49.98. But we don't want to buy it just at that. We want to buy it at 49.98 plus 10 cents. So we want to buy it right about here. And the way you can do this automatically is to do what they call a buy stop limit order. And if you don't know how to set a buy stop limit order, in my YouTube channel, I show how to do a buy stop limit order. And the way the buy stop limit order works is, if the stock moves above a certain price, then it activates the buy stop limit. Let me see if I can. There we go. So if it moves above 49.98, then it activates an offer to buy it at 49.98 plus 10 cents. So what happens is it breaks the resistance, and then as it's breaking the resistance, you buy it as it's moving up. So the reason buy stop limit orders can be so good is because you're buying it into strength. So you're buying it as it moves up. You always want to be buying on an uptick. You never want to be buying on a downtick. That's what they call for catching a falling knife. So if a stock is falling, you want to look at it before you buy it, and you don't want to buy it as it's falling. You want to buy it as it's pushing up. Now the question is, how do you do that? Well, the way you do that is with this buy stop limit order. And the buy stop limit order for Joe that I would place to buy one position of this would be 10 cents above 50.08. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that comment. That is interesting and very insightful, because not too many people know about Joe. It's very good stock, and I think you could do quite well on it. So fantastic. Thank you, tradesman. Thank you very much for the question. That's a great question. Can you bet on Amazon earnings? And what are your thoughts on CRM? Well, I'm actually already betting on Amazon earnings, and because I did a what they call a bull put spread on Amazon, and I will make money. Actually, anything I will make money with this. If it moves above 31.30, that's the now. If you want to see a detailed explanation of the buy stop, the trade that I put on, you can go to the website, YouTube. Now let me see if I may have it. Let me just see if I have it on here. I may have set it up so that we can see it. Well, that's a vertical spread. Now I keep talking about these buy stop limit orders. So let me show you a little video on how to set a buy stop limit order. Hello, everybody. As you know, Tesla is going to be officially entering the S&P index today, December 21st. And this is also a quadruple witching day. That means that there are options both quarterly, weekly, and monthly, as well as yearly options, all expiring on the same day. So it's going to be a very busy day on the last 5 minutes of trading, and the systems may lock up and not allow for options for orders to be placed. So what I recommend doing is putting in a stop limit order that hopefully will protect you against any very quick movements in the stock price. And I'm going to show you how to do that here. This is an intraday chart of Tesla that I just took a few minutes ago, and I kind of want to show. I don't know if that was the right. I don't know if that was the right one there, the right video. I probably should play a different video, but anyways, it's on. Basically, there's content on my YouTube site that basically has some of that, so you can kind of look at that kind of to see. You know where this, and that's basically at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, if you want to see that. And if you're on TikTok, it's super easy to get over there. All you have to do is go to my profile, hit the link, and there is a little thing that lets you go directly. It says subscribe to Dallas Trading Floor on YouTube. Just hit that, and you'll be taken right over to where some of those educational and videos are. So. Anyways, I wanted to throw that out there for everyone. It was kind of a little bit of digression here. All right, so let's take a look. Okay. Jim, could you please shed some light on pink slips? Thanks. Okay, here's what pink slips are. I don't know if anyone of you've seen The Wolf of Wall Street. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but kind of an interesting movie. It's about Justin Balfour, kind of a very interesting character. And what pink slips are is that they are very, very small issues. They have very, very small floats. I don't recommend them. And the reason is because they're very volatile. You can make money in them, but most of the time you don't. So if you want to learn about pink slips and what not to buy in the stock market, that would be a good movie to look at. Is called The Wolf of Wall Street, because what they do when they sell those is that, many of them are just very, very thinly traded, and they're tough. So I wouldn't recommend pink slips. Actually, you got to be careful about stocks that trade for below $10 because they tend to be rather thin. Now, that said, I have had some very big successes in below $10 stocks. I've been recommending. Since the summer, I put up Blink Charging was a below $10 stock when I started trading it, and also RVP, which is called retractable technology. It's kind of a medical supplies company, and that was as well too. And it's $19. It's doubled in 6 months. I just want to kind of show you the chart on that one, and that's retractable technology. So I don't typically recommend stocks below $10 a share, but every once in a while you get one that's very strong, and this one definitely is. Here, relative strength is 99. It's called Retractable Technologies RVP. Would I recommend buying it? Well, it's pulling back. I do think it will be buyable right at this level, but I'm going to try to focus somewhat, and I haven't done this recently, on some lower price stocks that might be of interest. But pink slips, I think you want to stick. I think you want to stay away from pink slips for right now, because it can be a little bit tough to play them. All right, so let's look at some of the TikTok. Okay, so we did BlackBerry. Okay, so thank you for joining. Thank you, and please tell all your friends. I do appreciate that as well. I can't do it anymore. Oh, well, that's too bad. Dogecoin, no, I haven't really done much with Dogecoin. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I came to your building yesterday to say hi, but they didn't let me in. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. I'm sorry about that. I am sorry, but you got to go to the third floor, and just go up to the third floor, and there's a reception. There's not a receptionist, but I appreciate you saying that. So hopefully I can send you a message. Let me see if I can do that. Let's see if I can send a message. Yeah. I am so sorry that you couldn't get in. I can give you a phone. If you're coming by, if you want to stop by, just give me a ring on the phone, and I typically answer my phone. If I'm not, I'll leave a message and I'll get right back to you. The Dallas Trading Floor phone is 214-233-5087. So that is the phone number for Dallas trading floor. So I just want to put it out there for you. I'm on Preston Road. So if 179220 Preston Road, Suite 300. So if you do come by, just give me a ring before, and we'll make sure that we get somebody out there to see you. So I'm sorry about that. 214-233-5087 is the number. So thanks again for coming by. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to see you. I always like to see people when they come by. All right, so let's take the next question from Mega Homes. Can you explain warrants? It's very good. Can you explain why ACTC stock doesn't trade the same price as ACT? Okay, warrant. Okay, well, here's what a warrant is. Thank you very much for this. This is a great question. A stock is just common stock. A warrant is a sort of like a coupon to buy stock. So what will happen is a warrant typically has a length, has a fixed length of time. So you can, if you buy the warrant, it allows you to buy so many shares of the common stock at a certain price within a certain period of time. So those trade separately. A common stock is just common stock without any expiration. So that's very interesting. So think of a warrant kind of like a coupon to buy other shares at a certain price. So like, even though, so for instance, if you have an officer of a company and they get some warrants, they can possibly sell these warrants, and people will buy them, and then instead of the original person buying the shares, the person with the warrants will. So warrants allow you to buy common shares at a set price, and of course, but at a certain time. Typically, warrants, what'll happen is a warrant will be sold into the market, but it won't let you buy the shares until a certain time. So, like, let's say a year in advance, they sell some warrants, and it lets you buy a share of common stock for X, like say $50. Well, that will then, they can sell those, but you can't buy those shares until that time has happened. So that's what a warrant is. Think of it as like a coupon to buy common shares. And that's a very, very good question. And that's why they trade at a different price. All right. Thoughts on BL? Let's take a look at BL real quick. BL. And see. Oh, Blackline. I don't know this one. Interesting. Cloud-based software platform. Let's look at kind of what they're saying about it. It's very nice. It's pulled right up to this Buypoint here. Let's kind of look at the checklist to see. Wow, this is 100% checklist. This is very, very rare, by the way, folks. And okay, Lord Abbott's in it. Wow, this is good. This is a very good one. I didn't know about this company. I'm going to actually write this down because this is the kind of stock that you want to buy. Very, very nice. Okay, so let's look at the weekly chart to see if there is, okay, so we have a very nice flat base, third stage, 141.82. So we're right below the buy point on this one. Very interesting. So Matt, that's very, very interesting that you said that. So basically, the buy point on this, let me see if I can, see if I can put that up. But the buy point for BL is equal to, I'm just going to look at 141.82. Let's see, that's 141.82. Right. So that's basically right. It's right here, right at this level. Here it is. That's where the buy point is. It's on a consolidated base. Let's look at the daily to see kind of, so we're right below that. We're right below that pivot, that 141, that 141.82 pivot. Interesting. See if I can zoom in a little bit on that so you can see it better on the screen. There we go. Okay, so right here is the pivot at 141.82. And so what we want to do on this one, and I think this is very worthwhile buying, by the way, this is totally buyable, is as it moves above 141.82 plus 10 cents or 141.92, that's where you want to buy it. And you want to buy it on a buy stop limit order. That's how you want to to do it. So you want to set a buy stop limit order for BL at let's see, 141.82 plus 10 cents, or 141.92. Yeah. So that's where you want to buy it, right here at this, right as it moves past this neckline here at 141.82 plus 10 cents. That's where you want to buy it, and it's been pushing up. So you want to buy it when it gets heavy volume. Now you might not want to do it today because it's earnings within 9 days. It's a little bit tight in terms of earnings. I don't typically like to buy anything, less than a week or so in front of earnings. We're just at that level. We're just kind of right at that stage. But this looks like it's a very, very strong company, BL, and this definitely should be on the watch list. This is a good stock, and it's got an excellent checklist. So here's what I would do with this one, Matt, and thank you for bringing this to my attention. What I would do with this one is I would basically buy it as it moves above this level, and this 141.9 this 141 level plus 10 cents. So as it pushes through there, that's the place to buy it. So Matt, this is a great question. I'm actually going to put this on the watch list. This is a quality stock. This is an absolute quality stock, and I definitely think it's viable. Wait for it to push past the resistance, and I think you might have a super winner on that. So a super duper winner on that one. So let me get rid of that. Yeah. So that was the wrong thing. I was showing St. Joe Company there. So I apologize for that. All right. So let's go to the next question. Thank you for holding on. Good question. This is a question on space. This is a question on space. Will it pull back up? Let's look at the chart for space. I'm in space, by the way. I have two positions in the small portfolio for Virgin Galactic, and it's a symbol SPCE is the symbol. And let's take a look here. Okay, so it's pulled right back to the trend line, so that's not unusual. As you can see, we still have a very, it's moving right up it's moving right up the 10-day line. Come on. There we go. It's moving right up the 10-day line. See how it's just pulled right back to that? So it pulled up and then it pulled back, but I think we're going to see tomorrow. I do believe tomorrow it's going to be up tomorrow. And the reason is because it's just in this channel right here, as you can see, in this channel. This is sort of the bottom of the channel here. And I do think it's pulling up there. I do think that, with that the earnings per share, the earnings are going to be in 23 days, about 3 weeks. So we want to be careful about that. On Thursday in about 3 weeks is where it's going to be. There was a buy point here at 35.62, and it has pulled past that. So could we buy it at this level? Well, yes, and I did buy it. And normally I don't buy them like this because I typically like to buy them within 5% of this number. I was a little bit high on this one. I was a little bit extended on this one, but I do think it will pull back up. And the reason I do is because it's following this trend here. So I do think that we're probably going to see it. If it doesn't break trend tomorrow, it probably will trade higher. That's my guess. Currently, it did trade down quite a bit today. It's volatile. It is volatile because, of course, of the kind of stock it is. But I do think that yeah, there we go. So hopefully we can see it. Yeah, it's really this line that you've got to be concerned about here. Is this trend line? You see, and it just got too far above itself. That's what happened here. See how it kind of just pulls back. So I suspect it's going to pull back. I think it's going to probably bounce, and I think you'll see it move up tomorrow. I do think it's likely to move above 50 tomorrow. Very, very likely to move above 50 tomorrow based on this trend line. So I still like it a lot, and I'm actually in it. I have 2 positions in it. So thank you, Harris. I appreciate that very much. All right, next question is, will there be a future short squeeze on, just like we saw on AMC again? Absolutely. It's very, very likely because typically everybody is not washed out in a short squeeze. what will happen is that the people that are shorting it, part of them will be wiped out, and then there's another tranche that aren't that still have enough cash in their accounts to limit the margins, and to maintain the margin, because they have to have at least 50% cash usually in the of the value. So as the stock goes higher, the cash requirements become larger, and that's why you get these short squeezes, because they go below like a 50% cash. So when you're shorting, you borrow the stock and you sell the stock, but you have to have cash in the account, you have to have cash in the account in order to maintain that short position. And when you violate the margin requirements, that's when they're automatically sold out, and that's what causes the shorts to have to go into the market and buy back the stock, and that's what pushes it up, because people refuse to sell. So I think it's probably very likely that they might see that again. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about AMC, but I think we probably will see one again. I do think it's going to pull back below 6, and then we might see another potential short squeeze. But I do think that a lot of the hedge funds are going to be a lot more careful this time, because they got burned. Now, here's the thing. If you use Robinhood as an application, you are feeding the hedge funds directly. You're feeding them information on how you're trading, because what they do, the reason that there are no commissions on Robinhood is because they take the information of how everybody is trading, they aggregate that, and then they sell that as a service to some of the hedge funds. And then those hedge funds typically short against the individual investors. So just want to be clear about that. And that's part of the reason why, people think, wow, Robinhood is free. Well, it's not really free, because they're gaming you to some extent to bet against you. Now, of course, that's why everybody's freaking out now that the shorts were that the small guy was successful against the GameStop. They thought, oh goodness, this is we don't like this. This is a new thing, But this is how Wall Street works. It's kind of devious. They have ways of looking at you, spying on you, depending on the apps that you use. Now, I mean, it's a trade-off. Robinhood doesn't charge any commissions, and some of the other firms that they do charge commissions. Everybody pretty much, like Charles Schwab and TD Ameritrade, they've stopped commissions, and the reason that they did it was not because they're altruistic. It's because Robinhood is the fastest growing brokerage company. Last year it was the fastest growing brokerage company. So the way that they were able to get around people, they were getting around charging for brokerage fees, was that they took the information of people as they were buying the stock, and then they took that and they said, oh, there's a lot of small investors on Robinhood that are buying GameStop stocks. So that information then went to the hedge funds, and then the hedge fund said, well, short GameStop. So that's the genesis of it. So pretty interesting. All right. So thank you for that. Thoughts on GBTC? Okay, this is an interesting one too. I like to trade this one. This is called the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And what it is that it's basically they hold 4% of the world's Bitcoin. And it's nicely bouncing. I do think that we're going to see it move higher. And the reason I do, first of all, it has a very strong relative strength at 98. I'm really liking that. Currently, it's up $2 today, but let's look at it kind of on a weekly chart. It runs in a range. Yeah. Here's the thing. As you can see, there's a line like this. When it breaks through this trend line here, okay, to the upside, when this trend line is broken to the upside, that's a signal to buy it. Currently, it's pulling back. But there's a likelihood. There's the trend line, as you can see. If GBTC moves above about 38, you see, and it will break this trend line. I don't think it's there yet, because it's bouncing off the 21-day line. But if it reverses and goes higher, that's when I think you can buy it. Here's the thing. I probably would not be a buyer of this until it moves above about $40. That's where I would probably be a buyer of it. I do think long term it's going to trend higher, but right now it's pulling back. Let's look at the weekly chart. And on the weekly chart, you can see it is pulling back. But I do believe once it pulls back either to the 21-day or the 50-day, you're going to see this thing reverse higher. So I do like the GBCC. I do like having some exposure to Bitcoin. I think it's really, really pretty terrific. All right, so let's look at, thank you, Ronald, appreciate it. Take a look at CRM. And of course, CRM is Salesforce. It is one of the truly big stocks out there, but it has been trending lower. I want to show you the chart. So I'm going to kind of zoom in on the chart here a little bit to see kind of the general trend of it. Let's go in here about 250%. Okay, hopefully that'll work. There we go. I'm just getting used to this. It takes a little bit of time. There's a little bit of a lag, even though I have good internet connection here. There's sometimes a little bit of a lag on my machine. So yeah, let's kind of see how it's trending. Okay, here we go. This is sort of the general trend. As you can see, it's bounced right here at the it's bounced off that 200-day. So buying off the 200-day. Oops. Let's see if we can get there. There we go. Okay, when it bounces off the 200-day, that may be a very good place to buy it. It's not really. It has moved above the. It has moved above the 50-day, but this is what they call a double bottom right here. Okay, so this is a very, very good chart pattern. This is a very, very good chart pattern. The buy point, the pivot is 270. Okay, currently we're we're lower than that. I would like to see this move a little bit higher. I see possibly looking to be in this one as it moves basically above this buy point here. And that's about 270. So we've got a long way to go. This is a watch list for right now, Ronald. This is definitely a watch list, but I do think it's buyable if it moves above about 270. That's kind of where I'm looking. But currently, you want to watch list this one to see if it goes above 270. Well, I've come to an hour, and I've been yammering on. I so appreciate everybody visiting with me here today and asking their questions. I'm going to be making some videos on sort of technical analysis and that kind of thing, and they'll be available on the YouTube channel that we have at DallasTradingFloor.com, and that the address for that, of course, I'd love it if you subscribe. It's at YouTube.com/DallasTradingFloor. Now, if you're looking on TikTok, all the charts and everything will be available about 30 minutes after this, and we're going to be putting them up on YouTube, so you'll see that. But you could also take a look at it just by clicking on the link and going to my profile, and then hitting the link, and it'll give you a little sub menu that'll let you see kind of the charts as I'm broadcasting. I can't broadcast them, unfortunately, live on TikTok Live, but hopefully they'll make a software improvement where I can actually be showing you the charts as I'm talking about them. If you'd like to sign up for the Action Trade Alerts, super great thing, and I put out trade alerts all the time, and they're available. It's super easy. Just have to go to www.DallasTradingFloor and sign up for the Action Trade Alerts. Or if you are looking on the, or if you're looking on TikTok, super easy. Just go to my profile, hit that link, and then there's a sign up there. And of course, it's all free. And by the way, I don't even sell your data. So there you go. Mine is truly free. And you can cancel anytime you like. So until tomorrow at 2:30, hopefully. I was a little bit late today, but until 2:30 tomorrow, happy trading. Thanks.